Hey guys, Ryan Diamond here. Wanted to talk to you guys about seasonal depression. Now I thought, with the holidays coming up, what better topic and what better time to bring it up than now? So, as far as seasonal depression goes, maybe you guys are dealing with divorce, maybe you guys are dealing with financial struggles in the family, maybe family members just died, stuff such as those three. Personally, I know from parents' divorce, it's been a tough ride for me, and I use a lot of different coping skills to help me cope with it. I talked about coping skills in my last video, and it was always hard growing up to be able to cope with, a divorced family, and I mean, now the age I'm at, it's more acceptable for me to be able to accept that. It still hurts every day from the time that I wake up to the time I go to sleep at night, thinking, my parents are split, and, I've been dealing with this for over a couple years now, since I was 6 years old, and it's really hard on me. And I still remember it as if it was yesterday when they had split. But as far as, the seasonal depression goes for that, I remember my last Christmas with them, and after that, swapping from both mom and dad, not only just on the holidays, but on the weekends, how hard it was. And, I think through my elementary years to the middle school years, it didn't really affect me quite as much. But looking back now, I think, how did I get through that? How did I really ever deal with that? And like I said, I used different coping skills by the time I got into my high school years. And it was never easy, but I managed to get through. And I remember in the sense that, it was painful at times. It was very painful. But as far as it goes for financial struggles, I remember I've been there myself personally with the family. It's been frustrating. It's been stressful. It's caused a lot of anger. It's caused a lot of sadness, hurt, everything. And you're just thinking, what do I do now? And you're thinking, how do I get out of this position of where I'm at, and how do I get from being the whole way down here to the whole way up here and doing better financially? And it really gets tough, especially around the holidays. Parents are trying to strive hard to get gifts, and that type of stuff. They run into a lot of bills, they run into a lot of this and that, and me personally, coming from a divorced family, on both sides, it's always been really tough for a bunch of Christmases throughout the years, up to now. And as far as that goes, it's really tough. But eventually, you do get through it. And here again, just talk about how you feel. And I would talk about to a friend or whoever, and just say, hey, look, this is what I'm dealing with, and how do I deal with this? And as far as the whole thing with family members passing away, I've personally never really dealt with a family member passing away over, for example, Christmas or anything like that. But it can be really hard, and it can be really hard to, I guess, if you want to say, keep that smile, over the holidays, and just be like, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and, that type of stuff. And it can be really hard to deal with that. But, as far as that goes, it's good to reach out. It's good to talk about that. And, personally, I would stick to your hobby, stick to your strengths, stick to what you're good at, stick to those type of coping skills, and try not to focus on the negatives. Try to focus more on the positives. What do I have going for me right now? For example, I've got a lot of good friends. I've got a lot of great family members at the moment. For example, I've got a lot of good things going in school. Think of it like that. Think of the good things. Don't think of things aren't going so well at the house right now. Some things aren't going well financially. Try to stay away from that as best as you possibly can. It can really affect you the more you think about it. I've had personal experience with that. It's been really hard on me to try and shift away from that for many years, and it's been a struggle. But you have to kind of push yourself a little bit to focus more on the positive. So there's a bit of tension and commitment that I guess involves that. But as far as the whole divorce thing goes, another thing I wanted to say was the fact that I remember a while back when I was living in the previous place I was living, a friend of mine, I was talking to him about my parents' divorce, and I remember him saying that it was, or I remember telling him about my parents splitting and stuff like that, and he kind of just, said stuff like, oh, you're practically doing on it, and, maybe it affects you from, 6 to, 12, and then you kind of just get over it from there, and, stuff like that, and stuff such as, you get 2 Christmases out of it. That's a plus. Personally, I don't like seeing it in those ways. I like the whole thing. I don't like the 2 Christmases. I like that one special Christmas, the whole family together, the people you care about the most all together, and I don't like the, switching from one part of the family to the other, split Christmases. I don't like that at all, personally. And I'm sure you guys don't like that too. It can be very frustrating. It can be very sad. It can be very depressing. And, stuff like that. And, and I think one of the biggest things growing up that always hurt me the most, and one of the biggest things that a lot of people say, most people, not everyone, but a lot of people say stuff like, oh, you just need to get it. Like, I remember there was a few people in my life that were telling me, even one of my parents, for example, saying, oh, you just need to get over your parents' divorce, that was then, this is now, you need to just get over it. And the thing about that is, guys, you don't need to get over it. If it affects you that much, I was 6 years old then, I'm 18 now. It still affects me to this day, from the time that I get up in the morning to the time I go to sleep at night. And, you guys don't, the honest answer is, coming from me, you don't have to get over it. If it affects you, it affects you. No one can change how you feel. No one can change your emotions. No one can change how you think. And, anybody that tries to change you like that, honestly, they're not your true either family member, they're not your true either friend, they're not your true anything at that point. If they're trying to convince you to move on, if they're trying to convince you to change, etc. I've had people tell me that, oh, you need to move on and stuff like that. And quite honestly, as much as that's hurt me, it's telling my story to you guys, telling my story and who I am, and sharing bits and pieces of who I am with you guys. That's really helped me. And, if there's people, if there's some of you out there that have heard my story, and some of you that maybe are out there sharing your own personal story, then honestly, guys, that's great. That's awesome. If anything, you're doing a great thing. You're helping someone else out there in need of help. You're helping someone else out there who's going through a lot of the emotional pain that I went through growing up. What you guys are doing is really good. And anybody to tell you that you need to stop, or that you need to get over it, or that you need to move on, or that you're stuck in the past, or that, just anything like that, they're wrong. Somebody to try to change you in any aspect of that sort, they're wrong. You're not wrong, they're wrong. Guys, your story is your story. And that's what makes you who you are. My story has made me who I am. And, that type of stuff. So really, anybody to try to change you, they're wrong. But anyways, as far as seasonal depression goes, there's a lot of that goes into play. I just kind of wanted to get that out there for you guys. So don't forget to subscribe for more. And my Hope group link is in the description below. Don't forget to try and place a like or a comment on this video. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you guys in 2016. Until then, Merry Christmas.